Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Perspectives, a podcast that takes on current cultural and social issues through a clinical lens. Hello, hello. All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we appreciate your time. And today I'm going to do something that may be a little bit controversial. I hope not. I hope that our followers will share this widely and there will be no criticisms whatsoever. But that's pretty unlikely. Let me tell you why. The victim mentality in our culture is strong. And today I'm going to test it on you, my audience. I'm going to test your victim mentality to find out if you are one of those who can see the victim mentality clearly, and if you are willing to take a stand against it. And there's a pretty good chance that many of you who see this, encounter this, experience this, will have a visceral reaction, an emotional reaction that pushes you to a point that you are frustrated, irritated, bothered by me. Now, remember, I'm about healthy perspectives. As a counselor, the last thing I want to do is hurt anybody. But making people uncomfortable is part of the deal. Because only when there's some discomfort, obviously I don't want to harm anybody ever. That's not my goal. But with discomfort comes opportunity for growth and change. And so I'm going to talk to you about the victim mentality and about our patriarchal model. There was a release last year of the Barbie movie. And I did a little deal on the Barbie movie a while back, but I've been wanting to do this for quite some time. And I finally decided now is the time. Why is now the time? Because it took me a while to sit down and get all of these words out and convert this into the patriarchal. Well, right now, Barbie did it on the patriarchal mode. And I converted it to, well, what if it was the opposite? What if it was the matriarchy? What would the men be saying right now? And so I converted Gloria's speech. If you've seen the movie, I converted this into males playing the victim. Now, I want to be clear, I am not suggesting that there's complete inaccuracy in any of this. I am only talking about the mentality. We can choose to look at unhealthy things. As our daily lives encounter many unhealthy things, or we can switch that mentality. So part of the reason for this, probably to some of you, disturbing adjustment to the speech, you're going to find that I have just basically converted it over to what if the men were the victims? Why? Because our culture needs this kind of content in order to do the growth work. If you're part of a patriarchal system where the men are in charge, do you realize that that means the men have a lot of pressure? If you're part of a matriarchal system, do you realize that that means the women have a lot of pressure? Do you realize that in a patriarchal system, the women have a lot of pressure? And in a matriarchal system, the men have a lot of pressure. What am I saying? There's plenty of pressure for all of us. It's not about that. It's about the mentality. Okay, without further ado, here is Gloria's speech switched into a male role. It is literally impossible to be a man. We are so handsome and smart. It kills me that men don't think they are good enough. We have to always be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong. We have to be strong, but not too strong. And you can't say you want to be strong. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be strong. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money. because that's weak. You have to be a boss, but you can't be emotional. You have to lead, but not take any credit. You're supposed to love being a father, but be away from the home all the damn time. You have to be a career man, but also always be available for your family. You have to answer for women's bad behavior, which is insane. But if you point that out, you're accused of insensitivity. You're supposed to get rich for women, but not so rich that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other men because you're supposed to be part of the brotherhood. But always stand out and always be grateful. But never forget that the system is rigged. So find a way to acknowledge that, but also always be grateful. You have to never get old, never be rude, never boast, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard. It's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you unless you're the best. And then you have to downplay it. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault. I'm just so tired of watching myself and every single other man tie himself in knots so that people will like us. The reason that I converted that, I know I gave you this in the prelude, but the reason I converted that is because of something I learned when I was really, really young. And it is so incredibly applicable all the time. Like in your everyday life, it's applicable. What did I learn? I learned that you can always find somebody who is better. You can always find somebody who is worse. You can always find somebody who's got it better. You can always find somebody who's got it worse. Appreciating what we have and understanding the limitations of the world we exist within is important. Do I think we shouldn't challenge broken systems? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, sure, challenge them, but don't do it from a place of being a victim. It's just as unhealthy to challenge from a place of victimhood as it is to challenge or to not challenge at all. You have options in every single day, just like I have options in every single day. You have challenges that you have overcome. You have strengths and weaknesses that are uniquely yours. If you play into the victim mentality, if you accept that women are victims, if you accept that men are victims, frankly, you're going to do a little less good in your day-to-day activities. And you can do better. If you don't accept these, life is still going to challenge you. You will sometimes be a victim, a legitimate victim, a victim of maybe something that's going on in the system, or a victim of maybe somebody who's having a bad day and they take it out on you. But that doesn't mean you have to accept the victim role. In that speech from Gloria, in the Barbie movie, the frustrating part for me as a counselor, look, I see a lot of truths in it. I do. But the most glaring truth was the acceptance of the victim mentality. And frankly, there's no place for that. Not in a world that we want to create. As a therapist, I routinely work with people who are actual victims to crimes, to bad situations with bad people who harm them. And sometimes accidental harms, car accidents or, health issues that were unexpected, came out of nowhere. Actual victims of life. Life isn't going to be fair. I wish it were more fair. We should fight for it to be fair-ish. It's never going to be fair. There will always be somebody who has more, somebody who has less. There will always be somebody who is faster or stronger, prettier. There's always going to be somebody who is slower, weaker, uglier. It's just how it works, folks. And I really, really hope you're hearing my message today. Whether you have a patriarchal model or a matriarchal model, somebody's going to have pressure. It's going to be the males and the females. If you have a non-binary model is you're still going to have the haves and the have-nots. Why? Because inherently, unfortunately, we group up. I say unfortunately because we don't always do that in the healthiest ways. You want to be less of a victim? Group up with people that have different backgrounds, different goals and aspirations, who have different strengths and weaknesses. If you're a person who hires for a business, find people with strengths that you don't have in your business. We'll compensate for the weaknesses. Get those strengths in there. If you're looking at your friendships, find friends that are different than the friends you have, that have strengths that your friends don't have. If you're an athlete, find a book nerd. If you're a book nerd, find somebody who is an athlete. If you're a science-focused guy or girl, find somebody who can't stand science. Not because I want you to make them the victim, so that we can actually borrow strengths and cover for people's weaknesses in healthy, useful, productive ways, rather than playing the victim. Well, I can't do that because in this culture, I have this weakness. Find somebody who doesn't have that weakness. Be friends with them and use their strength to make your world better. Or alternatively, you could do what I did at the beginning of this. You could whine and complain about how bad you have it. Because I'll tell you what, if you look at the words that I said, just like the words that Gloria in the Barbie movie said, you're going to see a lot of truths. Just don't accept the mentality. Don't do it. I hope that this was helpful. I'm not doing this, just so you're aware, I'm not doing this because I want a controversy. I'm doing this because I want to help create the discussion. No matter how good you've got it, if our culture today flipped and we were a matriarchal society today, you could still play the victim. Whether you're a male or a female, you could still play that role. And I'm saying refuse to do it. Just refuse to do it. Go out there, love each other, say, like, look, no, stop playing the victim here. I get that this hurt you. But I, as your friend, as somebody who loves you, I'm not going to let you stay in that mentality. If you do that, folks, we will shift things like nobody's business. It will be so much goodness going around. I hope you're hearing this message. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we do appreciate your time. If you liked this, please subscribe, follow, all those things, but also share it with people. Let other people benefit from what we're doing here. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate our audience a lot, so we give you some simple ways to track us down. Please like, subscribe, and follow all the podcasts on different platforms, but you can also email us at healthyperspectives@protonmail.com, or you can check out our website at healthy-perspectives.com/podcast. It's a backward slash. So if you want to go to our landing page, if you go to healthy-perspectives.com, you'll still find us. You just got to click on the podcast button. Thank you so much.